Okay, so we're going to start sat down here, and then just nice and gently to begin with, just pull the knees, alternate knees into the chest. We'll go for 10 reps total, so on 7. Okay, excellent. When that's done, we're going to put hands behind, we're going to bring heels in close, knees together, and we're just going to start rocking gently from side to side. Okay, good. Then we're going to take your heels out to about the width of the mat. We're going to go for another 10 rocks side to side there, just building the range as we go through. Aiming to then get those knees down towards the floor. Okay, excellent. And then legs out straight. We're going to push toes away and pull them back towards. We're going to do 10 of those. Good, and then 10 windscreen wipers side to side with those feet. 9, 10, and then we're going to do 5 clockwise circles from the ankle, not from the knee. 5 clockwise circles, 5 anti-clockwise circles. Okay, excellent. And then from there, we're going to come over onto hands and knees. Walk those hands out so they're just ahead of underneath your shoulders. And then we're just going to sit hips through towards the floor and then come back. As we come back, we're going to try and push down into the floor and get a nice stretch through the back, through the lats, through and back. Through and back. Okay, good. Keep going with that one. Two more. Okay, and once you've done your 2 more, you're going to try and take your knees that bit wider now. If you've got, hopefully you've got something comfortable underneath them for that. And we're going to do the same movement then for 4 reps, just with those knees a bit wider. Okay, excellent. From there, for 5 reps on each side, we're going to point and look towards the ceiling, and we're going to get that arm underneath as far as it will go. So we're going for 5 here. Let's get those upper back, chest nice and open. Once you've done your 5 on the first side, change sides. Okay, excellent stuff. Then once they're done, we're going to go into 10 cat-cows, driving your back up into the ceiling, looking down towards the knees, and then exhale, push your belly button down towards the floor and look forwards. Okay, a couple more. That's great. Staying in that hands and knees position, we're going to grip the floor of our hands and we're just going to push up onto the fingertips, the heel of the hands coming off the floor. Straight arms. Alright, lovely. A couple more of those. Then we're going to plant those hands down solidly to the floor and we're going to rotate the elbow so the inside of the elbow is pointing forwards and then towards back. So forwards, towards back. Okay, good stuff. Okay, and then from there we're going to stay in the same position, but we're going to try and aim to do some press ups but with straight arms. So we're just going to be using the scapula. So straight arms, we're going to push our chest towards the floor, push it away, towards and away. So it's quite a small movement, but as long as your arms are staying straight and locked out and your chest is going closer and further from the floor, and you're doing it. Alright, 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then final one for this block then. Hands underneath shoulders. We're just going to take one hand off, rotate and look towards the ceiling. Down to the floor, other hand off, rotate and look. And we're going to go for 10 of those in total as well. Okay, excellent. Have a quick break, grab a drink if you want one. We're going to stay down on hands and knees for the next bit though. Just take my jumper off. Okay, so we're going to come back to hands and knees again. And we're going to I'm going to get my right leg now. It's going to come out to the side so it's straight. And my foot behind me is flat on the floor. So it's not toes not curled under, top of the foot flat of the floor. And we're going to go back into that same movement we were doing earlier where we're pushing the hips forwards and back. So hands to the floor. And we're going to rock forwards and back with that leg out to the side. Okay, good, keep it going. One more. And then we're going to bring that leg in, the other one goes out. And we're going to keep going then on the other side. Okay, from there we're going to come back into this nice square hands and knees position. Don't need any socks on now. Okay, nice square hands and knees position. What we're going to do is we're going to pick this right knee up ever so slightly. We're going to imagine that there's a pencil sticking out of it and we're going to start drawing circles on the floor. Nice and small, so that knee's just off the floor. Nice and small circles, then as we get better at that, we're going to start increasing the size of the circle until we can get it really quite big. Okay, excellent. And then the other way, other direction. Okay, and then change sides. Other leg, start with that knee, nice and small circles. And then as we get better, start increasing the size of them. That's it, and nice and big then. Okay, excellent. We're going to come over onto our back. And we're going to push up into a 30-second glute bridge. So hips high, straight line between the knee, hip and shoulder. We're going to hold ourselves here. Just be aware, squeezing the glutes, keeping them straight. We're not going to overextend them too high. Just keep them straight between that line. Should be feeling it in the hamstrings now as well. Okay, good. Three, two, one. Drop those hips back down to the floor, have a quick break. Keeping your back flat on the floor then, we're going to bring our knees together and we're just going to start rocking those knees from side to side. Nice and gently. Okay, and then we're going to come back up into that glute bridge and we're going to march our knees alternatively towards our head. So up in the glute bridge, we're just going to march those knees in towards your face. Two more, 9 and 10. Okay, from there, we're going to have our feet flat on the floor. They're about hip width apart. And I'm going to bring my right foot then over my knee here. So if I go from this angle, it'll be clearer. Right foot over knee here. And then keeping your back flat on the floor, we're going to start rotating. So either the foot heads towards the floor or the knee heads towards the floor. So really important that we're keeping our back flat against the floor. And then we're aiming then to get the foot down towards the floor, touching ideally, and the knee on the other side. Okay, good. 2 more of those. And then we're going to change sides and do about 5 or 6 on that side as well. Okay, let's go. Okay, good stuff. From there, we're going to lie on our side with our knees stacked on top of each other here. And from there, we're going to go into some clamshells. So keeping the feet together, then you're going to open the knees and down again. If you want to add a little bit of resistance, you can put your hand on top of your knee. So it's a bit of resistance. We're going for about 10 of these. Okay, when you've done your 10, go over onto the other side. Going to go for 10 there as well. Okay, excellent. This will be one to watch before we go through. So it's called a side lying archer. And what that looks like is we're on our side again, like we were with our clamshells, with our knees stacked on top of each other. We're laying on our side here, with our arm down flat on the floor, and this arm stays where it is on the floor. This top hand then comes on top, and what that's going to do is it's going to push as far as it can beyond the fingers of the other hand. And with a straight arm then we're going to pull back, like we're pulling a bow. When we get to the limit of how far we can pull back with a straight arm, so we're not bending it in with a straight arm, when we hit that point then, we're just going to rotate up and over and try and touch the floor behind. Okay, so just in real time then here, hands on top of each other, pushing the fingers away, pulling them back until we can't pull any further with a straight arm, and then rotate over and stretch out that chest, upper back and shoulder. So let's work through a few of those. Push away, pull, and rotate over. All right, 2 more of those, then we're going to change to the other side. Okay, excellent. Changing to the other side now. Push away, pull, and then over. Okay, 2 more of these. Okay, and then coming back up to hands and knees. For 5 on each side, we're going to do fingertips to forehead, elbow pointing towards the floor. We're just going to rotate ourselves up. You know the one. Just 5. Okay, excellent. Grab a drink if you've got one, then we're going to come back to work on the lower body a bit more. Okay, so we're going to set ourselves up in this half kneeling position here. And we're just going to start by rotating in this position. The aim for each rep to be getting a little bit further as we go. Okay, then we're going to come back into the middle and we're just going to reach down into our left pocket, our right pocket. Okay, and then rear foot flat on the floor, not toes not curled under. We're going to push forwards into that lunge and then backwards to sit back on that rear foot, hands to the floor if you need to. And forwards and backwards. Okay, we're going to pause forwards now for 5 seconds. And we're going to pause backwards for 5 seconds as well. We're going to pause forwards for 10. And we're going to pause back for 10 as well. Might be a bit painful on that foot, depending on what you're on. Okay, great. We're going to come back into that forward position. We're going to put our hand down next to the front foot on the inside of it. We're going to put our other hand down on the floor as well. We're going to raise up onto the toes of that rear foot so the knee comes just off the floor, and we're going to draw some circles with that rear knee just above the floor. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and circles in the other direction. And then finally we're going to drop that knee back down towards the floor. The hand that's next to the front foot then is going to rotate up and point and look towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. One more. Okay, great. Come back to hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to swap sides now. So we're going to come up into that half kneeling position on the other side, and we're going to start doing those rotations. And we're going to come into those side bends, reaching down into your pockets. Okay, excellent. And then from there then, we're going to push forwards. Forwards and sit back. Forwards. Come back. We're going to pause 5 seconds on this next forwards. We're going to pause 5 on the back. Might need to take a bit of weight off of your hands because I find that quite uncomfortable as well. 4, 5. We're going to pause forwards for 10. And you guessed it, going to pause back for 10. And that'll be us almost done. Alright, great. And then we're going to bring that hand, those hands down to the floor. We're going to raise that knee just slightly off the floor and start drawing those circles. Okay, excellent. And then drop the knee to the floor. The hand that's next to the forward foot then is going to rotate, point towards the ceiling, down towards the floor. Okay, good stuff. And just to finish that one off then, we're going to come back into another 10 cat-cows. So just pushing up and down, a lovely bit of flex through the spine. Okay, excellent. From there now, we're going to come down to seated, legs out, legs straight. We're going to do a little bit of stretching. So from here, what we're going to do, hands down to the floor between the knees. We're just going to start walking those fingers out so we feel a stretch in those hamstrings. And we're going to hold there for 10. 2, 1. We're going to walk slightly further away. We're going to hold for another 10. We're going to walk slightly further away and hold for the final 10. Okay, that was unpleasant. Now we're going to bring one foot then into the groin here. We're going to focus on one leg at a time. So we're going to come over, walk your hand down to wherever you get to a good uncomfortable but not painful stretch. That could be holding onto the shin, the ankle, grabbing onto a toe, onto the ball of your foot. If you want to put your hand on your knee there to keep it nice and straight and down. And we're just going to relax into that stretch, relax the quad on that side. And we're just going to hold in there then. Ten seconds. Okay, excellent. We're going to change sides. We're going to do another 30. So ready to go. Find that place where you've got a good stretch on. And we're going to start then there now. 10 seconds. Okay, excellent. We're going to bring both feet in so they're touching together here. Hold on to the feet and just let those knees drop to the outside. Should feel a stretch up there in the groin. We're going to hold there for 30 seconds as well. 20 seconds to go. Last 10. Okay, excellent. We're going to come back up to standing. From there, we're going to go into some quad stretch. So we're just going to do a standard standing quad stretch. We're going to come in for 30 seconds here, starting in 3, 2, 1. So pulling that foot gently up behind us, keeping those knees together, and then pushing those hips forward for an extra bit of stretch. Three, two, one. Okay, and relax. We're going to go for the same on the other side. Let's get ready to go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Halfway. 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to take our stance really nice and wide. Feet are going to be pointing slightly out, so like 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'm going to come down into the bottom of the squat. I'm going to hold there for 3 seconds. 2, 1, and up. We're going to come back down. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, and we're going to come back down again, and we're going to hold for 10. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. God, that was challenging, wasn't it? Okay, next one, we're going to stand up nice and tall. We're going to come into some Jefferson's curls. So, standing up tall here, we're going to internally rotate the hands, so the hands are going to rotate inwards here, and our shoulders come forwards, and just vertebrae by vertebrae, we're going to start curling ourselves over, folding ourselves in half, working down then towards the floor. When you get to the floor, just hold for a breath, and then slowly come back up again. Okay, good. So tucking the chin under, down. Imagine vertebrae by vertebrae. And back up again. Okay, this is the last rep. Okay, and finally to finish this off, we're going to go through our 20 90-90s. So what that looks like, feet about the width of your mat, and then we're going to send both knees over to one side. head towards the floor, weight over the front knee, and then going over to the other side, you know it. And we're just going to work for 20 reps between those two. So over, weight over this front knee. On your last rep, get yourself into that nice strict 90-90 position and hold over that front leg, just so we get a nice stretch through that glute on that front side. No hurry to get them done if you haven't done your 20 yet. So just sat in this position here, we should feel a good stretch around the outside of that front leg, up by the glute. Let's try and get maybe elbows to the floor, maybe forehead to the floor. Nice, lots of weight over that front knee to increase the intensity of the stretch. Relax into it. Okay, then we're going to change sides. So into 90-90 on the other side. That's it. Okay, excellent. And let's just sat here seated cross-legged then, hands down in front of you here. We're just going to go for 10 reps in total. Point and look towards the ceiling. Alternate hands just to ask a little bit more of that back shoulder mobility. Trying to get that arm as vertical as possible.